Here are 3 things to avoid if you're an apprentice or getting started in a skilled trade. Now these 3 things, they all start with the letter C. Now what 3 things are these? My name is Austin. I'm a journeyman lineman. I went through an IBEW union lineman apprenticeship from the years of 2017 to 2020 in the Northwest. If you do the math, I've been a lineman for roughly almost 3.5 years now, and I've been in and around trades for the last 8-9 years of my life. These 3 things are things that I've seen throughout my career as a tree trimmer. I did welding for a little bit, and then now being in the lineman trade for the last 7 years. These are 3 things that if you're an apprentice or someone who's getting started in a skilled trade, these are things that you should avoid doing. These 3 things, if you follow them, if you learn from these 3 things, then I promise you that you will have better luck, better success completing your apprenticeship, being a better apprentice in the trade that you're working in. So in this video, I'm gonna break it down step by step what these things are and how they are going to help you. So let's start with C, number 1, complacency. Now, what is complacency? We may have all heard what the term complacency is. Let's see what the dictionary has to say what complacency means. So the dictionary defines complacency or complacent as showing smug or uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements. Basically, it means you get relaxed and you just think you know what you're doing, and then all of a sudden, now you're just being complacent. And now one big thing that we see people get complacent in the lineman trade is when it comes to safety rules or things that a lineman has been doing for so many years, and they're complacent doing it the same way over and over and over. And they say, well, I've been doing it like this for 15 years and it's never been an issue. Well, you've been doing it for 15 years, but it only takes that one time for someone to get hurt or killed. Now, complacency, especially, it's not good in any position you're in, whether you're a journeyman, a foreman, a general foreman, a supervisor, a grunt, an apprentice, a laborer, whatever position you're in. Being complacent isn't a good place to be. Being complacent basically means you just get relaxed and you just think you know what you're doing, and that's gonna create problems. We always have this saying in our trade, in the lineman trade, is complacency kills. That refers to a lot of the safety reasons, is because guys will get complacent with doing things like certain safety protocols and procedures that we're supposed to do. Guys will be like, no, I've been doing it like this for many years. This hasn't been an issue. But eventually that complacency will catch up and complacency will kill. It can kill somebody if someone gets really complacent. So if you're starting out in a trade, or if you're in a trade right now, maybe you're in your early stages or early years, or maybe even been in the trade for a while, I always try to remind myself not to get complacent, try to stay on my toes, try to always be learning and think of, the safety protocols and safety procedures, because I know in our line of work as a lineman, there's many things that can kill you pretty quickly and pretty easily. Of course, there are injuries, people get killed and XYZ, and those things are very unfortunate. And to be honest with you, a lot of those things might be because that person got complacent with their work procedures. Learning how not to be complacent and just to be on your toes and always be thinking is going to significantly help you getting started and once you're in a trade. For C, number 2, I have cocky. And we probably all know what it means to be cocky. Someone who is arrogant, someone who is all about themselves. Let's see what the dictionary has to say what it means to be cocky. Cocky, conceited or arrogant, especially in a bold or impudent way. If you have a cocky personality and you want to get into a trade, I would leave that cocky personality, try to leave that cocky attitude at home. That cocky mentality, leave it behind, because in a trade, especially like a lineman trade or ironworkers or welders or oil fields or one of these trades, it doesn't actually matter which one. There's already too many cocky guys out there in the field, and the last thing we need is another cocky apprentice or groundman or laborer to be on site being Mr. Know-it-all, arrogant because they went to a lineman school or they went to some trade school, so they think they know what they're talking about. That's going to get you in more trouble than it is going to help you. In fact, guys who are cocky and know-it-alls actually are the ones that get washed out and fired first. If you're a cocky individual, my very honest advice is try to be extremely less cocky, because I work with linemen who are super cocky, and then you get this apprentice who's Maybe he's a hot apprentice. He's been in an apprenticeship for a few years and he's Mr. Cocky Know-It-All. And those they clash. I've seen that literally start fist fights. If you're a cocky guy, if you're a cocky person, you have that sort of mentality or personality, leave the cockiness behind no matter how hard it is for you. And there's a difference. Guys will think, oh, well, what about just being confident? Confident and cocky are two different things. It's okay to be confident. It's okay to know what you're doing and be confident to know what you're doing, right? I have an apprentice. He's very confident in a lot of things and he shows it. He wears it well. He's very confident. That's not an issue, but he's not cocky. There's a difference. So you can be confident knowing your stuff, getting work done. That's okay. Just try not to be cocky because I know that usually doesn't end in very good results. For C number 3, this is probably my favorite one, and this is comfort or getting comfortable. I've seen this literally get guys, apprentices, pre-apprentices, grunts fired. Is first impressions and apprentices getting comfortable. Let's say, for instance, you get moved to a new crew and your first impression, it's all about first impressions. And then all of a sudden, you're working hard for the first week, second week, maybe third week, and you're crushing it. And the guys are like, man, he's doing pretty good. And then you get comfortable. And all these C's kind of fall in the same place. Complacency, comfort, cocky. Guys will be like, oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. So they get complacent. They get comfortable. They get cocky. All three of those C's, especially if you add them all up, the equation, it equals nothing good. Getting comfortable is not a good thing. You gotta stay on your toes. You gotta be wanting to learn, gotta be wanting to work. Don't be getting comfortable no matter how far in the apprenticeship you are. You could be a first step, you could be a 7th step, you could be a week away from becoming a journeyman. Don't get comfortable. Being comfortable is only going to hurt you. What I always think and say is get comfortable being uncomfortable. Try putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. And there is this clip of a podcast that I came across.
You have to understand, one, you're probably not even close to the threshold. 2, you should build yourself into someone who can acclimate and operate during hard times. 3, remember that if you learn to acclimate and you learn to operate under stressful conditions, it makes you far more valuable because most people cannot. Now, can that go to an extreme where it f***s you up? Absolutely. But I promise you guys, I know this from experience, you are likely a million miles away from that. We have a victim culture in society. We have a soft culture in society. Any bit of uncomfort, people got to take a mental health day. They got to relax. They got to fucking take a break. And bro, those people will lose their entire lives. They will not be able to push through because they don't have grit. They don't have resilience. They are not tough people. And bro, building shit is a competition. Winning in life is a competition. There is only limited spots. Like I know other people say there isn't, but there is. Okay, so to get one of those spots, you have to become someone who can operate in conditions that other people can't. And that comes from, just pushing through when things get uncomfortable.
And if any of you guys want to watch that, that's Andy Frisella's podcast, Real AF. And I'll have that in the link in the description down below. But he defines how comfortable and being uncomfortable kind of defines the success in a person's ability to be a successful human being in whatever path they're on. For C number 3 is try not to get too comfortable. I know it can be easy. You might be on a cool crew. You might be working with some really good guys. And it's easy to be like, oh man, these guys are fun to work with. They seem like they like me. And then you fall into comfort. You fall into complacency. Maybe you even get a little bit of cockiness inside of you because you're like, man, I'm killing it. But please don't ever get comfortable. Hopefully you can learn from this video the 3 C's to try to avoid that could significantly help you while you're getting started in a skilled trade, in an apprenticeship, or as a laborer, as a groundman, whatever position you're at. These 3 C's, cocky, being comfortable, getting complacent. These 3 C's added together in an equation do not equal anything good. Hopefully you can learn with Bluecollar EDU. I'm here to expose, teach, educate you about blue-collar career opportunities and things that'll help you get started in a skilled trade. And with that being said, I'll catch you on the next one.